Maddie, what are you doing here in the saloon? What you got there in your poke? My goodness, Colt's Dragoon. You're no bigger than a corn nubbin. What are you doing with a pistol like that?
It's for Ned Pepper and the High Fructose Gang.
Oh, well, this piece will get the job done if you find a high stump to rest it on and a wall to put behind you.
No, I brought it so you could do it.
Oh, okay. Well, folks, I guess today we'll be shooting Uberti's reproduction of Colt's third model Dragoon. I'm Dustin, and you're watching Guns of the West. Colt's Dragoon revolver was meant to be an answer to the somewhat problematic and very massive Colt Walker revolver, and I would say it is an improvement, and it's one that went through a series of changes. First, there was the Whitneyville Dragoon, which is sometimes even referred to as a transition Walker. Then there was what we call the first model Dragoon, followed by the second model Dragoon, ending in what you see here, the third model Dragoon, at least as reproduced by Uberti. By the time of the third model Dragoon, we see things like the rounded trigger guard, we see square-cornered cylinder stops with leads in them. Inside of here, we have a flat leaf spring instead of the more difficult-to-work-with V-shaped spring. We've got a little latch here on the loading lever to help prevent it from dropping under recoil instead of just the weak T-spring that the Walker had. But as you shoot these, you realize that these do tend to drop as well. The barrel is shorter than the Walker. This is 7.5 inches long versus the 9-inch barrel the Walker had. Has a shorter cylinder with a smaller capacity. I believe max about 50 grains versus the 60 on the Walker. One little notice, I don't know if many people care about, but I noticed anyway, the screws come all the way through on the Walker. They do not. You only see them on this side. Also, some third model Dragoons had a cut frame for a shoulder stock. This one, though, does not. Well, this is just a quick overview of the revolver, and I should point out this, as you can see, is a beautiful gun. Very good action. In the unboxing video, it did not. I just backed the wedge out, and that took care of that problem. Well, why don't we get outside now and have some fun with this thing? All right, well, let's go over the loading procedure for Colt's third model Dragoon. I'm going to bring the hammer to the half-cock position. As you've seen in other videos, that's what frees the cylinder on these cap and ball revolvers. Now, for the powder charge, I'll be using 40 grains today. I don't have a spout for that, so I've just set that on my powder measure. I'll just fill that up with my flask. All right, now I'm just going to add that into the first chamber. And for the projectiles, I'll be using, on this first go around, we'll use bullets too, but first I'll just use a 4.54 diameter round ball. Rotate that right under the plunger, bring down the loading lever on it, and just ram it all the way down. Now I'll just repeat that process all the way around. With the chambers all now loaded, the next thing I like to do is add some all-natural bullet lube to each one and just smear a little in there. This is a mixture, 50-50, of beeswax and lamb tallow. It works extremely well in these cap and ball revolvers for keeping the fouling in the bore soft and improving accuracy and just keeping the gun running longer without needing a cleaning. And if you don't have any lubricant like this, make sure you look down in the description below. I have a link. I do actually offer it for sale. And the final step of the loading is to add the percussion caps to the nipples. Press them on firmly. I'm using Remington number 10 caps, and that is what I recommend on these Colt style cap and ball revolvers. I get a lot of questions about that, but Remington number 10 is what I recommend. I'll just get these added to all 6, then we'll get to the fun part of shooting. All right, well, it's time to see how the Dragoon shoots. Now, for these first groups, I'm shooting off of the Caldwell stable table and the Caldwell Pistolero rest, just so I can see the actual capabilities of the revolver without my errors, which we know that I do have some of those sometimes. 25 yards downrange, I've got a 12-inch wide steel plate, and because the Colt style revolvers tend to shoot high, I'll be aiming about 8 inches below the bottom edge. Let's see how it performs. Well, it at least hit the plate. Got some spent caps coming off there. That's one problem you have to watch for on the cap and ball revolvers. Oh, we've got us a little jam here. Oh yeah. There we go. That will happen. And I believe that is all of them. Let's go take a look at that target. Well, here are those first 6 shots, and it's a little bit of a wide group, but not too bad for round balls at 25 yards. And it looks like I was about right on as far as how high this would shoot. That's typical for a Colt. Well, let's move on now to our next shots. Now I'm going to load it up again, and this time I have put a 30 grain spout on my flask. Switched to 30 grains instead of 40 this time, because I am leaving room for a very big bullet. That is the Colt Dragoon bullet from the mold from Era's Gone bullet molds. And I'm just going to place that over the powder charge. And as I rotate it around, I just have to guide it with my finger just a little bit. But otherwise, you can see this gun will accept those with no modification to the loading port. So now I'll just go ahead and pull the loading lever down again. Ram that all the way down tight on the powder. And the rest of the loading procedure is the same. All right, now let's see how the big Dragoon bullets do in the Colt Dragoon. About spun the plate all the way around. This group won't be too good. The target's swinging pretty bad. Oh, give that just a moment. Oh, did it again. Let's move on. That is a fun revolver, I'll say that. All right, let's have a look. Well, these are still a little high and maybe slightly to the right, but much closer together than the first group. So I would say this is actually a pretty great load for this revolver. All right, now I've got my Dragoon loaded up one more time with those Dragoon bullets, because if you remember, I did promise young Maddie I'd go after Ned Pepper and that high fructose gang of carbonated bandits, and it looks like I just found them. That you, Ned Pepper?
That's Dr. Ned Pepper to you!
Oh, okay. Dr. Pepper, excuse me.
What's your intention?
I mean to kill you in 1 minute, Ned. That or see you hang at Fort Smith, Judge Parker's convenience. Which will you have?
Well, that's bold talk from a fat man who can't shoot.
Fill your hand, you son.
Well, did you get them?
I got them. They almost got me, but I got them. Well, I hope you folks enjoyed this look today at Uberti's reproduction of Colt's third model Dragoon as much as we enjoyed making the video for you. Please don't forget to click that like button down below and subscribe to the channel so you can see more videos. And if you look in the description, you'll see where to find me on social media, as well as where to find great Guns of the West products. Thank you so much for watching.